When the market goes up, you go up. When the market goes down, you don't go down. Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
Welcome to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Brad is a retirement and income specialist, primarily serving Springfield, but he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Pistole is a licensed life insurance professional in the states of Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas, and he specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Brad Pistole.
Hello, this is Brad Pistole, your host, welcoming you to Safe Money Radio. I am an asset and retirement protection specialist and your one-stop source for capital preservation and strategic income planning. Way back in 2009, I attended a conference that was being hosted by one of the main companies I represent. And even though this company is headquartered in Des Moines, Iowa, they held their conference in the same location as many other companies. It was in Las Vegas, and it took place at the very famous Bellagio Hotel and Casino. I'm sure many of you have seen clips of the Bellagio in dozens of movies because the Bellagio is famous for their music and fountain display out front. Now, this was my very first time to ever go to Las Vegas, and I had never set foot in a casino. And here's the great irony. The conference I was attending was for one of the largest safe money companies that exists in the United States. Their entire focus is on fixed annuities and life insurance. They sell guaranteed lifetime income and tax-free income to their clients, and yet they held their conference at one of the riskiest places on earth, a casino. And they did so knowing full well that all of their attendees would spend their free time trying to get something for nothing. You know, since the beginning of time, there has always been people who try to get something for nothing, and that has never changed. There have been bait and switch gimmicks that have existed for hundreds and hundreds of years. Just pay us $99 and we will train you how to become a millionaire virtually overnight, and you can work 5 hours a week from the comfort of your own home. Well, you know what they say. There's a sucker born every minute. Now back to the story. Way back in 2009, I had my one and only experience in a casino, and I wanted to share that with you today because I'm sure many of you can relate to what I experienced. Like I said earlier, this conference was held in Las Vegas at the very famous Bellagio Hotel. And if you've ever stayed at the Bellagio Hotel, you know casinos are everywhere. So every time we would come to and from the conference rooms where our meetings about retirement safety were being held, we would have to walk through the casino to get to the hotel rooms. After the first day of studying was over, I decided to walk through the casino and watch people gamble because I had never been in a casino. It was absolutely fascinating to me. And after about an hour of watching, I thought I would give it a try. I decided to put in a $20 bill on a dollar slot machine, and I had made up my mind that when and if I lost that $20, I would be done. That's all I was willing to risk. Well, guess what? I lost 18 rounds in a row, but on the 19th try, I hit the jackpot and I made $88. I couldn't believe it. This was so easy. In my first attempt in the casino, I made $88 on a $20 investment. Of course, I could have made the decision to cash out and walk away while I was ahead, and I would have been up by $68 on my investment. But you know what happened, don't you? You see, I thought to myself, wow, if I can make $88 for every $20 that I put in this machine, I could make a fortune. So I kept playing. And I decided that I wouldn't risk any more than the $88 I had just won. After all, it was free money, right? So there was nothing to lose. As you probably know, I lost all $88. Not only the $68 that I had won, but also the $20 that I had invested in the game. And as I went back upstairs to my hotel room, I realized something very quickly. Just how addicting casinos can be. I can see exactly how that can hook people, and I understand why some of my own friends go spend their weekends trying to get something for nothing. Now keep in mind, this was my first and only experience in a casino. I put in $20. It grew to $88, and then I lost all of it. And that was a nagging feeling. So the next day, every time I would walk through those casinos during our breaks, I would think to myself, I've got to get that $20 back. After all, look how quickly I turned that into $88 the day before. So to make a long story short, by the end of the next day, I went back down to the casino to try and win back the $20 I had originally invested. And I left that trip $200 in the hole. I lost $200, and it served as a very powerful lesson. Just as one of my mentors, Jim Rome, would say, getting something for nothing is the beginning of loss. I've never set foot back in a casino. That was my one and only experience. And even though you may not realize it, those of you who are invested in the stock market are gambling with your retirement money. It's just like walking into the Bellagio Hotel, going over to any one of the endless games, and throwing your money down on the table. You're trying to get something for nothing. And as you already know, there will be times when you feel like you're winning, and there will be times when you lose everything. Surely you know this. The casino is a rigged game. They would not be in business and would not be profitable if they lost on a regular basis. They win more than they lose. Who do you think pays for their big fancy buildings? You do. They keep your money far more often than they give you money. It's just like the stock market. You have absolutely no control over when it's going to go up and when it's going to go down. And if you are in or nearing retirement, that is no way to live. If you're listening right now and you're planning for retirement and your number one goal is to make sure you have enough money for you and your family to live on the rest of your life with no worries and no stress, no matter what's going on in the market, then you need to call us at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You see, we've been showing people how to keep their money safe and how to generate streams of income that will last the rest of their lives since the financial meltdown of 2008. Thousands of people just like you who have listened to Safe Money Radio since 2010 have either read my number one best-selling book, Safe Money Matters, or my new bestseller, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. These books teach people how to do something that most other financial professionals never talk about. They teach you how to protect yourself from market losses and fees, and how to own accounts that will generate the most tax-efficient and often tax-free income that will last the rest of your life. You see, this is what truly matters when you retire. If you want true happiness and peace of mind, you have to know that all of your basic needs are taken care of and that you will never have to worry about ever running out of money. We can show you exactly how to do this. Just give us a call and request our free information, and request a free 1-hour financial consultation with me. When we meet, I will show you exactly how this works, and I'll give you my information absolutely free. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
Are you age 59 and a half or older and still working? Did you know that you may be able to move some or all of your retirement money to an individual retirement account without any taxes? Why keep your money in your employer's plan with management fees, exposure to significant market risk, and limited options for guaranteed lifetime income that you can't outlive? What will happen to your plan at work if the market crashes? Call Brad Pistole now for retirement planning that will protect what you've worked so hard for and create a retirement that is safe and secure. Call 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. In the first part of our show today, I told you about my first and only experience in a casino. It was at the famous Bellagio Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was in Vegas for a 3-day conference that focused on teaching financial professionals how to protect their clients' retirement savings. Isn't that ironic? In case you missed the first part of the show, here's a quick reminder of what happened on that trip. Since I had never been in a casino and had never gambled before, I decided to follow the philosophy of when in Rome. So I put a $20 bill in a slot machine and took my best shot. I had made up my mind that when and if I'd lost $20, I was done. That's all I was willing to risk. Well, guess what? I lost 18 rounds in a row. But on the 19th try, I hit the jackpot and I made $88. Then I thought to myself, wow, if I can make $88 for every $20 that I invest, I could make a fortune. So I kept playing, and I decided that I wouldn't risk any more than the $88 I was up to. After all, this was free money, so there was nothing to lose. Well, as you probably know, I lost all $88. Not only the $68 that I had won, but also the $20 that I had put into the game. And that's not where the story ends, because losing that $88, including my original $20, really bugged me. It was a nagging feeling that wouldn't go away. So the next day, every time I would walk through those casinos during the break, I would think, I've got to get that $20 back. And to make a long story short, by the end of the next day, I went back down to the casino to try and win back the $20 I had originally invested. And I left that trip $200 in the hole. I went from $20 in my pocket up to $88 and then all the way down to minus $200 in the hole. And it served a very powerful lesson. It reminded me of a very powerful saying from one of my mentors, Jim Rohn. Jim said, "You either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. The choice is yours." Now trust me on this, you need to write this one down. I have this printed out and I read it every single day. So here it is again. You either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. The choice is yours. Following this philosophy has made me a multimillionaire who is 100% debt-free. And I've been teaching people how to do this in their own lives since the financial crisis of 2008. Here's a little hint. I made the decision a long time ago to never lose money. I simply do not invest in things that risk my hard-earned money. Now, in our next segment, we're going to talk more about Jim Rohn. He was a poor farm boy from Idaho, and because of his work ethic and relentless commitment to success, he became one of the highest paid public speakers of all time. I've been reading his books and listening to his seminars and public speeches for years. Jim passed away in 2009 at the age of 79 with a net worth of $500 million, and he remains one of the greatest motivational speakers of all time. So stay with us. You won't want to miss what's coming next. But listen, if you're planning for retirement and your number one goal is to make sure you have enough money for you and your family to live on the rest of your life, And if you don't want to worry, if you don't want any stress, no matter what's going on in the stock market, then you need to call into our show at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You see, we've been teaching people how to keep their money safe and how to generate streams of income that will last the rest of their lives since the financial meltdown of 2008. Thousands of people just like you who have listened to Safe Money Radio since 2010 have either read my #1 best-selling book, Safe Money Matters, or my new bestseller, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. These books teach people how to do something that most other financial professionals never even talk about. They teach you how to protect yourself from market losses and fees, and how to own accounts that will generate the most tax-efficient and often tax-free income that will last the rest of your life. You see, this is what truly matters when you retire. If you want happiness and peace of mind, you have to know that all of your basic needs are taken care of and that you will never have to worry about running out of money. We will show you exactly how to do this. Give us a call and request our free information, and request a free 1-hour financial consultation with me. When we meet, I will show you exactly how this works, and I'll give you my information absolutely free. I'll even show you how you can get up to a 25% bonus of free money added to your retirement income account on the first day you roll over your money from risk to safety. Our number again is 866-780-7233. And there's someone standing by right now to take your call. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Do you own an annuity? Do you understand what it does, how it works, and if it's right for your retirement plan? Some annuities have fees that might not be justified by their benefits. Some annuities are exposed to significant market risk. Worse yet, if an annuity was sold without proper planning, it can cause unintended consequences for your retirement. If you own an annuity, it's probably a good idea to find out more about how it works and if it's right for you. It's time to give Brad Pistole a call now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Brad will help you review the features and benefits of annuities you currently own without any obligation. Once again, you can call Brad now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back to Safe Money Radio. I'm Brad Pistole, a certified financial fiduciary and a safe money retirement specialist. Now, before the break, I was talking about one of my favorite mentors, Jim Rohn. He was a poor farm boy from Idaho, and because of his work ethic and relentless commitment to success, he became one of the highest paid public speakers of all time. He said something decades ago that changed my life forever. Jim was talking to a group of people who wanted to learn how to become more successful, and they paid big money to attend Jim's seminar. They hoped to learn the tricks of the trade that would set them apart from all of their competitors. Now listen closely to what he said to the hopeful group of entrepreneurs. Jim said, "Learn to help people with their lives, not just their jobs. Learn to help people with their lives, not just their skills for their job. Touch people with a book. Touch people with a poem. Touch people with your words. Don't fail to say something that could be meaningful. Help people with their lives. Help them set their goals. Help them with their dreams. Help them with their future. Help them with their errors. Help them when they make mistakes. Help people." He then went on to say something absolutely critical to success. Jim said, "Here's one of the most important words you will ever learn. Until." Now listen closely. Promise yourself you'll read the books until your skills change. Promise yourself you'll go to seminars until you get a handle on it. Promise yourself you'll listen to it until it makes sense. Promise yourself you'll go for it until you understand it. Promise yourself you'll practice until you develop the skills. Never give up until, however long that is. Step by step, piece by piece, book by book, word by word, apple by apple. Walk around the block, walk around the block. Go for it. Don't miss the chance to grow and resolve that you will pay the price until you learn, change, grow, and become. Then you will discover some of life's best treasures when you pay that price. That was Jim Rohn. In 2008, I created my first business card. What I put on the bottom of every card has never changed. Now I use my best-selling books as my business cards, but my original old-school business card still says the same thing, thanks to people like Jim Rohn and Ed Slott. Here's what it says. I ask people every day what they want, and I help them get it. I was taught this years ago. If you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. So I live by this philosophy. Serve other people first. Help them with their lives. And as a result, my life has been changed forever. I am 100% debt-free. I am completely financially independent. And I teach my clients how to do the exact same thing. It truly doesn't matter how much money you make. It's about what you do with your money that makes the difference. Remember what Jim Rohn said years ago. You either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. The choice is yours. I show my clients how to keep 100% of their hard-earned money safe, and I show them how to turn those accounts into pension streams that are guaranteed to last the rest of their lives. If you're planning for retirement and your number one goal is to make sure you have enough money for you and your family to last the rest of your life, and if you don't want to have any worries, any stress, if you don't want to worry about what's going on in the market, then just give us a call. Our number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. We've been showing people how to keep their money safe and how to generate streams of income that will last the rest of their lives since the financial meltdown of 2008. There have been thousands of people just like you who have listened to Safe Money Radio since 2010. They've either read my number one best-selling book, Safe Money Matters, or my new bestseller, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. An America's IRA expert wrote the foreword for this new book. These books will teach you how to protect yourself from market losses and fees, and how to own accounts that will generate the most tax-efficient and often tax-free income that will last the rest of your life. You see, this is what truly matters when you retire. If you want happiness and peace of mind, you have to know that all of your basic needs are taken care of and that you will never have to worry about ever running out of money. I can show you exactly how to do this. Just give us a call and request our free information. I'll give you a copy of my Safe Money Kit and my Safe Money book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. Request a free 1-hour consultation with me. When we meet, I will show you exactly how this would work in your specific situation, and I'll give you my information absolutely free. It has changed the lives of thousands of people all across the country, and it will change yours. My number again is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
The market goes up and the market goes down. It always has, and it always will. But if you are in or near retirement, Do you have the time to wait for the market to go through these cycles? Think about it. Having your money invested in the market is like walking next to the edge of a cliff. What if you lose your step? What if the edge gives way? What if a strong wind blows you over the side? It is good to stay away from the edge of disaster in life, and when it comes to being exposed to financial risk, it is no different. Shouldn't you at least try to protect the money you depend on for your retirement income? Pick up the phone and call us now to receive your complimentary Safe Money Information Kit and a copy of Brad's best-selling book, Bulletproof: The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. Our phone number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money Radio. I am Brad Pistole, a market risk mitigation specialist helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. Today I want to give you fair warning ahead of time. If you have children or grandchildren with you who are listening right now, you might want to be prepared, because today I'm going to be talking about Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and what these things have in common with your retirement plan. Now you might be thinking, what in the world does Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny have to do with my retirement plan? But trust me on this, they have a lot to do with it. And understanding this is very important to you being able to live the retirement of your dreams. So keep listening, and remember, you can always call into our show 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 866-780-SAFE to request our free retirement planning information. When you read our information, you'll learn very quickly why we are different than 99% of the other financial professionals you listen to on the radio or see on the TV. And you will understand why we are the longest running financial planning show in the Ozarks. I've been on the air hosting Safe Money Radio 5 times a week, every single week since 2010. Don't be fooled. There are a lot of copycats out there, but there is only one Safe Money Radio. Our number again is 866-780-7233. Now, as all of you know, from the time that you were young, you were told about Santa Claus. In fact, Santa Claus probably excites young children and grandchildren as much as anything in the world. Just ask any child and they will tell you all about Santa and his reindeer. They'll tell you about Rudolph. They'll tell you about Santa's elves. They'll talk about the North Pole and Christmas Eve, leaving milk and cookies out for Santa. And of course, every child knows that Santa comes down the chimney on Christmas Eve, leaving presents for all the good little boys and good little girls. And then there's the best part, of course, opening presents on Christmas Day. The same things are true about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny. Just ask any child about the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny and their eyes will light up. They'll be able to tell you all kinds of specific things about each one of these characters. And they'll be able to tell you specific stories about things that have happened in their lives with each one of them. It will probably include some of their favorite memories up to that point in their lives, especially when it comes to Santa Claus and Christmas. And those Easter egg hunts are pretty special too. Now, in our next 2 segments, I'm going to dive deeper into what these things have to do with your retirement plan. But before I do, let me just remind you of this. You see, every single thing that you know about all these characters came from someone else. And it was probably someone you trust that taught you all the specific details about them. They started telling you about them from the day that you were born, and they repeated these stories to you day after day and year after year until you reached a certain age in life. And then something happened. Depending on where you were raised and how you were raised, you eventually learned the truth about these characters. Now that might have been at age 10 or age 15, or for some of you, you might even still believe what you were taught as a child, but probably not. You see, the majority of all people eventually reach an age when they realize, wow, the things I believed for so long about so many things that were such a big part of my life while growing up aren't what they seem to be. But now I know the truth. And that truth changes things for most people. You see, eventually the things you used to know and believe change. And once your understanding changes about certain things, you make different decisions in life. This is certainly true when it comes to financial planning. There are so many people who believe things they've heard for years, and many people don't even know why they believe what they believe. The answer is just something like this. Well, this is what I heard from a friend, or this is what I heard from someone on the TV or on the radio, and that's why I think what I think. You see, very few people take the time to research whether or not what they're taught about financial planning is actually true. They just believe what they've always been told, and this can absolutely destroy your future retirement plan. This is exactly why I've been studying under America's IRA expert Ed Slott every single day of my life since 2010. There is no one on this earth who knows more about tax-deferred accounts like 401ks and IRAs than Ed Slott. The Wall Street Journal has even said it would be hard to find anyone who knows more about IRAs and taxes than CPA Ed Slott. Friends, if you want to work with the best financial professionals that exist, you have to work with people who know things that other financial professionals don't know. And guess what? When someone doesn't know something, they don't know that they don't know it. If you would like to make sure you're headed down the right path to the retirement of your dreams, give us a call at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. I will give you a copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. The foreword to this book was written by Ed Slott. You'll find out why America's IRA expert said every single retiree should read a copy of Brad's book. Give us a call and ask for a free financial consultation. We will review your current plan and see if you're headed in the right direction. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
Are you concerned about long-term care? You're also probably concerned about paying the high cost of long-term care coverage and increasing rates. Some long-term care rates have increased by as much as 40%. Thanks to recent changes made by Congress, you may be able to use non-qualified tax-deferred retirement money to pay for your long-term care tax-free. Some hybrid long-term care annuities or life insurance solutions can even double or triple your funds available for care. If you have non-critical health issues, you should still call us. Some insurance products have simplified underwriting, and a simple telephone interview will determine your qualification. Call us now if you want information on this opportunity to use tax-free money to pay for your long-term care. Our phone number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back to Safe Money Radio. I'm Brad Pistole, a certified financial fiduciary and a safe money retirement specialist. Now, before the break, we were talking about Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and what they have to do with your retirement plan. And trust me on this, they have a lot to do with your retirement plan. So let me explain. You see, when it comes to retirement planning, there are literally thousands of different opinions on what you should be doing for your future retirement. Just pay attention for one day as you drive around and count how many different financial planning offices you see in your hometown. Pay attention to the television and the radio, and for 24 hours, count how many different financial planning commercials you see and hear. And guess what? All of their opinions will be different. Every single person claims to own the market on the best advice in the industry. So how could any one person know who to trust? If one professional tells you one thing and then the next professional says, "Oh, that's the worst thing you could ever do," then how in the world would the average person know which one is right? You see, whether you realize it or not, most of you developed your current opinions about financial planning because someone else taught you what to think. Now, this might have come from a parent, a grandparent, a church member, a friend, a spouse, or maybe even someone at the golf course or the beauty parlor. The opinions of those we are close to impact us. It also comes from commercials, TV and radio shows, the seminars that we attend, classes we take at our churches and in our communities, and the things that we see online or read in books and magazines. Let me give you a great example of this. Over the years, I have talked to literally thousands of people who have requested a meeting with me after hearing me on the radio. Remember, I've been airing every single week, 5 times a week on multiple stations since 2010. That means I talk to lots and lots of people. Now, during these conversations, I can't tell you how many times I've heard something like this. "Well, I can tell you one thing, Brad. I hate annuities. I've always been told to never put my money into an annuity." If I've heard this once, I've heard it 1,000 times. Now, I will normally respond by saying something like this. "Okay, well, if you don't mind my asking, why is that? Have you ever owned an annuity before?" And the answer is almost always the same. It goes something like this. "Oh, no, I've never owned one, but my grandfather did, and my parents told me the insurance company kept all the money when he died." Here's another famous one. "No, I've never owned one, but I've heard Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman say that you should never buy an annuity. They are terrible investments." Now, here's where things get really interesting. You see, I personally own 6 annuities. I have the majority of my future retirement income growing inside annuities right now. I've owned them since the financial meltdown in 2008. I purchased my first annuity on May the 2nd, 2008. Not only do I own 6 annuities, I have structured more than 1,000 annuities for clients all across the United States. My parents own them. My family members own them. My close friends own them. And some of the people who have the most brilliant financial minds in this great country own them. And they own a lot of them. People like America's IRA expert Ed Slott and world-renowned economist Tom Hegna. Tom owns 11 annuities. So who's right? Is it Susie Orman? Dave Ramsey? Is your local stockbroker right? Are annuities terrible investments that you should never own? Or how about world-renowned economist Tom Hegna, who personally owns 11 annuities? Is he the one that's right? How about the more than 30 PhD-educated economists who were recently interviewed for the movie and documentary Baby Boomer Dilemma that's starting airing in 2022? They not only own annuities, they say owning a properly structured annuity is one of the best things you can do to secure guaranteed retirement income. And they have their PhDs. So I can tell you the answer to this question, and I'll talk about this in our last segment today, so stay with us. But before we go to the break, let me remind you, someone you trust once told you about Santa Claus, and the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny. And they went into very specific detail about each one of them, and they taught you to believe them for many, many years of your life. But guess what? None of those things turned out to be true. Later in life, you found out that what you had been taught for so many years wasn't what you believed it to be. You see, what you listen to and who you listen to is very important. That's exactly why America's IRA expert Ed Slott talks about his 4 retirement pillars in his new nationally produced program, Retirement Freedom. Do you want to know what the 4th pillar is? It's freedom from bad advice. Ed goes into specific detail talking about how much bad advice there is today from people who call themselves financial professionals, even experts. And he talks about how these things will keep you from living the retirement of your dreams. Friends, this is exactly why I've been studying under Ed Slott every single day of my life since 2010. There is no one on this earth who knows more about tax-deferred retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs than Ed Slott. The Wall Street Journal has even said it would be hard to find anyone who knows more about IRAs and taxes than CPA Ed Slott. If you want to work with the best financial professionals that exist, you have to work with people who know things that other financial professionals don't know. And guess what? When someone doesn't know something, they don't know that they don't know it. So they don't even know that they're giving you the wrong advice. If you would like to make sure you're headed down the right path to the retirement of your dreams, give us a call at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. I will give you a copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. The foreword to this book was written by Ed Slott. You'll find out why America's IRA expert said every single retiree should read a copy of Brad's book. Give us a call and ask for a free financial consultation. We will review your current plan and see if you're headed in the right direction. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Since I have to take a break, now would be a great time to call me for a complimentary copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. And I'll also give you a copy of my Safe Money Kit. My number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Isn't it time to stop exposing your retirement to market risk? You're listening to Safe Money Radio with Brad Pistole.
Do you think the market is going up or going down? Or is that even the right question to be asking? Here's a better question. When the market goes up, do you get to lock in your gains? What if you never had to worry about the market going up or down? Here's another question. Do you have a plan to never outlive your retirement money? What if the market crashes when you need to start using your money for retirement? Taking withdrawals from your retirement account can have devastating consequences due to sequential rate of return risk. If you don't know what that is, you should call us to find out. Brad's best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, and his Safe Money Kit can show you how to limit market risk and guarantee a lifetime of income. So pick up the phone and call us now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. Hey, today we've been talking about all the different opinions and all of the different advice that you can find regarding retirement planning. There are so many different options it will make your head spin. And if you don't believe me, just pay attention for one day as you drive around your hometown. Count how many different financial planning offices you see. Pay attention to the television and radio and count how many different financial planning commercials you hear in one 24-hour period. And guess what? All of their opinions will be different. Every single person claims to own the market on the best advice in the industry. So how in the world could any one person know who to trust? If one professional tells you one thing and then the next professional says, "Oh, that's the worst thing you could ever do," well then how in the world would you know who to believe? Let me give you a great example of this today. I am a certified annuity specialist. Now this special designation requires a lot of ongoing training and education, and I have spent years studying how to properly structure annuities to keep my clients' money 100% safe and to give them lifetime income that they will never outlive. I personally own 6 annuities, and the bulk of my retirement income will come from these annuities. I have personally structured more than 1,000 annuities for clients all across the United States, and I have helped people protect more than $200 million of their retirement income by using the right kind of annuities. But guess what? You can find people all over the world who call themselves quote, financial professionals or experts who will tell you that annuities are absolutely terrible, and they will say you should never own one. So as we close today, let's listen to a world-renowned economist and best-selling author Tom Hegna. Tom's show, Don't Worry, Retire Happy, has aired in more than 80 million homes in the United States and Canada. Tom doesn't sell anything, but he does personally own 11 annuities. I recently interviewed Tom and I asked him why there was so much bad information out there about annuities. And in light of that bad information, I asked him why he chooses to own them. Just listen to what Tom says.
Well, as far as the bad press, the only bad press I see is from people who have an agenda to have you not put your money in annuities. They want you to put your money with them. And there's one particular person on the radio and on the TV a lot. He's got very high fees. And so, who could he pick on? He couldn't pick on Vanguard or Fidelity. They got lower fees than he does. He couldn't pick on a lot of different things. And then he had to have something where somebody could just sign here, and transfer the money to him. So he looks around the landscape. There's a lot of things with high fees. Real estate has high fees, options, futures, crypto. I mean, there's a lot of things with high fees. Gold, commodities, they all have high fees. But he had to find something that you could just sign here, and transfer your money to him. So he picked on variable annuities, but he doesn't say variable annuities. He says all annuities. Well, that is totally false. And so, I think you just got to be very careful when you see somebody says, don't ever do this, because they've got an agenda. Why don't you read the works of Dr. David Babel, Dr. Moshe Milevsky, Dr. Menachem Yari, Dr. David Finken, Dr. Wade Pfau, Dr. David Blanchett? These are the smartest people in the world around retirement, and you're not going to get any of that negative annuity stuff from the people who've studied retirement. I own annuities. They give me peace of mind. The Wall Street Journal had the headline. You can Google this. The secret to a happy retirement is friends, neighbors, and a fixed annuity. And they found that the happiest people in retirement were those people surrounded by their friends, surrounded by their families, who had guaranteed paychecks every single month. I always ask people, who are the happiest retired friends you know? Oh, it's retired military, retired government, retired teacher, retired firefighter, retired policeman. It's people with pensions. And what are pensions? They're lifetime income annuities. People love annuities. They love that guaranteed paycheck every single month. Some people call it mailbox money. It's there every single month. It's reliable. It's dependable. As long as you're breathing, it never stops. And so when you have that, you've got peace of mind. You've got financial freedom. You can go on trips. You can go play golf. You can do the things that you want. And then, as I said, now the research shows that you're likely to live longer. Freakonomics did a whole study. It's actually a University of Chicago study. Freakonomics picked up on it, pushed it out through social media. It was a University of Chicago study that studied people who bought income annuities versus people who didn't. And you know what they found? The people that had the income annuities lived longer than the people that didn't. There was an article just 2.5-3 years ago in the Journal for Financial Service Professionals. It was written by attorney Patrick Tricker, and the title of the article was Can Longevity Insurance Increase Longevity? And it was all about annuities and living longer. And he found that the average 65-year-old male who purchases a life annuity can live approximately 20%, can expect to live 20% longer than a 65-year-old male who does not. And the whole rest of his article explained why people who have guaranteed income tend to live longer. They worry less, they have less stress, and they choose to live a little bit differently. They watch what they eat, they exercise, they see the doctor, and all these things cause them to live longer. Now, many of you had to read a book in high school or college. It was called Sense and Sensibility. It was written by Jane Austen in 1811. Does anybody remember what Jane Austen wrote about annuities in the book Sense and Sensibility back in 1811? She said, if you observe, people always live forever when there's an annuity to be paid. The annuity is a very serious business. It comes over and over every year, and there is no getting rid of it. and she wrote that in 1811.
Well, there you go, friends. There's some great advice from all the way back in 1811. As we close today, let me remind you of two things that are very important. Number one, be very careful who and what you listen to. Anyone can call themselves an expert, and everyone is an armchair quarterback. They all have opinions about what you need to do with your hard-earned money. But guess what? Their retirement isn't depending on the advice they give you. Your retirement is. So make sure you are getting your advice from a true expert, and make sure they can back up what they are telling you with facts. And number two, the late great Jim Rohn used to say, you either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. The choice is yours. Friends, I personally own 6 annuities. I have owned these annuities since the financial meltdown of 2008. Making the decisions to put a significant portion of my retirement assets into 6 different income annuities are some of the best decisions I've ever made. I have never lost one single penny from any of my annuities, and because of them, I will have guaranteed income for the rest of my life, and my family will benefit from these decisions for years to come. Friends, I am a certified financial fiduciary and a certified annuity specialist. I made the decision way back in 2010 to spend every single day of my life training under America's IRA expert Ed Slott. There is no one on this earth who knows more about tax-deferred retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs than Ed Slott. The Wall Street Journal has even said it would be hard to find anyone who knows more about IRAs than CPA Ed Slott. If you want to work with the best financial professionals that exist, you have to work with people who know things that other financial professionals don't know. And guess what? When someone doesn't know something, they don't know that they don't know it. And they're giving you advice based on things they don't know is wrong. If you want to make sure you are headed down the right path to the retirement of your dreams, give us a call at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Well, that's about all the time I have for Safe Money Radio this week. But before I go, I want you to know that I sleep at night knowing that my clients have retirement plans that remove the stress of market loss from the money they depend on for retirement. And I want you to sleep well at night too. Until next time and at the same time, I'm Brad Pistole, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
You've been listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Brad Pistole now for your complimentary Safe Money book and Safe Money information kit at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges applied to base annuity contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Listeners should be aware of IRS penalties for withdrawing funds from an annuity before age 59 and a half. Fees may apply. Annuity guarantees are based on the insurance company's financial strength and claims-paying ability. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are taking just the first step towards protecting your retirement. It is important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice.